Jamie Dornan admits H is obsessed with his female co-stars, but Dakota Johnson is an exception. Jamie Dornan appeared in a sit-down interview with The Hollywood Reporter. His face was the same as it had been in years, the same eyes, the same shy smile, but underneath was a very complex inner world. The interviewer, a veteran journalist named Elise Monroe, had followed Jamie's career for more than a decade. The conversation started off light, about movies, about family, about his days as a Calvin Klein model. But then Elise suddenly asked, "Jamie, you said you had a tendency to be obsessed with your female co-stars. Is that true?" Jamie was silent for a few seconds. Then he nodded. "Yes. There was something about them that made it impossible to separate myself from the character, from them." Elise was taken aback. She hadn't expected such frankness. But it was Jamie who continued. "But there was one person, an exception. Dakota Johnson, the shadow of unnamed love." Since 2015, Jamie and Dakota have become an inseparable on-screen couple. 50 Shades of Grey puts them in a dangerous light, where every look is scrutinized, every laugh can become a rumor. People say they act too real. Others say they have real feelings but don't dare to admit it. But only the people involved know what really happened between them, Jamie shared in an interview. "I used to have mixed feelings for my co-stars. I was drawn into their world. But with Dakota, I didn't want to control anything. I wasn't obsessed. I just wanted to protect her." Previous co-actors. Before co-starring with Dakota, Jamie had worked with many famous actresses, Keira Knightley, Rosamund Pike, Emily Blunt. All of them were talented, charming, and had their own charisma. Jamie recalled, "I remember when I was working with Rosamund in A Private War, there was a time when I couldn't get out of character for 3 weeks. I thought about her even when I wasn't on set. It was a professional obsession. But it made me tired." With Emily Blunt, his co-star in Wild Mountain Thyme, he was criticized for being too intimate. Jamie did not deny that, "I got mixed up between the emotion and the role. I used to think I had to live with that emotion until the end of the film." But Dakota was different. WHO is Dakota in Jamie's eyes. Jamie says that when he first met Dakota at the 50 Shades audition, he thought she was so fragile that she would shatter if someone said the wrong thing. But a few minutes later, he was struck by the confidence and sophistication in her eyes. Dakota never acts for attention. She acts like she's alive. When you act with Dakota, you're not an actor anymore, you're a human being, vulnerable and honest. What keeps him from becoming obsessed with Dakota, Jamie says, is, "She makes me feel enough. I don't have to control my emotions, I don't have to hold her back. We exist side by side, not overpowering each other. There's a quiet respect between us, and that's magical." Letters never sent. Elise asks, "Have you ever thought about telling Dakota that she's an exception?" Jamie was silent for a long time. Then he said, "I wrote her a lot of letters. Mostly during the second and third films. When everyone thought we were in love, I was actually trying to figure myself out." One of the letters Jamie wrote, but didn't send, read, "Dakota, sometimes I don't dare look at you, not because I'm not brave enough, but because I'm afraid if I look at you long enough, I won't want to leave." Elise was silent, and then she asked, "Why didn't you send it?" Jamie smiled, lightly, as if letting go of something heavy. "Because when you really love someone, you don't have to possess them. They just need to know that, in your silence, there is a place for them." Reunion after many years. In 2024, Jamie and Dakota reunited for an independent short film called Parallel Lines. It was only 18 minutes long, but audiences and critics were captivated. The film tells the story of two strangers who meet in a subway station, say nothing, just sit next to each other every day, then one day, one disappears. Dakota says, "We didn't have to rehearse our lines. It just came naturally. It was like we were always holding that string, it was just that no one was holding the other end." Jamie says, "I'm not the same man I was 10 years ago. But when I did the last scene with Dakota, I realized, there's a part of me that doesn't want to leave." The truth about an exception. Elise ends the interview with the question, "Do you think you loved Dakota?" Jamie replies, without hesitation, "I don't know if it's love as people define it. But I do know, if there's one person I never want to hurt, it's her."